whatever path you are on, whatever inspired you to come here today, we honor you and we welcome you. And now, our message.
Oneness of God, of the spiritual beingness of you, how it is all one, how it is all united, how the creative power of God and Spirit is unlimited and universal, and that you are part of that expression. That power, that source resides within you, flows through you, creates through you. So you will do amazing things. It is within you. Open up. Let it out. Breathe in the air and to know that you are enough. That you are good, expressing that you are one with God, that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, that you are powerful, that you create your own experiences in life, that you actually do create your life. To know this, to own this, is very strong. So as we get in alignment, as we line up with the energy and the power of the universe, we are creative. We are co-creators in this universe, and just settle into that knowing that you are never alone, that you are powerful, that you are creative, that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and this is your life. And in gratitude, just say to the universe, thank you, God, and so it is. So it is. The message for today is interesting in a few ways, and I wanted to bring this up right in the beginning because I just was reminded of it over and over again. The theme for the month was living in the flow, and then the title of my talk, and if you have to look at the program, and you would see it says, "I'd change my life if I only had more time." And what struck me so funny about this, over the last couple of weeks, my wife and I have moved to Ogden. We are in and absolutely surrounded by boxes and things to unpack. I was sharing with some people before the services, like, see, I have no belt. It's like, I can't find my belt. I had on black socks because I don't have everything, and it's somewhere in the garage in a box. But we're here. We're happy to be here. And the thing was with this, about my talk, was about time, about creating time, about having enough time in life. And all week long I'm rushing around saying, oh, there's not enough time. I don't have enough time to do all this. And I'm like, what a lesson for me. What a lesson for me, who was going to stand up here and tell you how to create time, how easy it is. It's like, oh my goodness. A wonderful lesson for me. So when I think about living in the flow, I think about, and I was visualizing, flowing down a river on a raft. You know, just being guided and pushed, flowing down the river being Spirit, being God, and it being easy and flowing, directed without very much effort from myself. I mean, you can picture that, right? Living in the flow, just sitting in the raft going down the river. Now you might have to put your oar in the water once in a while just to guide you, just to avoid maybe hitting a rock or a log that's also floating down the river. And you have a little bit of control. So you can move yourself around, redirect yourself. You know, you forget to pay a bill. So lower the water, go over to the bank, make that deposit, everything's covered, phone back to the river again. Well, the car won't start. I'll just call a friend, they'll pick me up. Since we've moved, I can probably walk here. Little delays. Put your oar in the water, you fix it out. And for the most part, all is well. And that's like life. Exactly like life. Sometimes it flows, life happens, and it's all good, all is well. Everything is hunky-dory. We get a little bit busy sometimes with things, we get a little bit distracted. That guy in the next raft splashes me. You know how I hate that. Maybe he cuts me off. Ooh. And you might get upset. And you may be so focused on that, or the guy that splashed you, or the guy that cut you off, that you don't see the signs in the river, you don't see the signs in life, you don't see that it is changing direction, and you're not, and you go right on the shore. Life changes. So now you're stuck. Physically, metaphysically, you're stuck. You've grounded your raft, and you don't know what to do. People are expecting you. Your boss is expecting results. You need to get things done, but you're stuck. The kids are hungry. Dinner's late. You forgot your cell phone at work. We found out without a cell phone, we're lost. So you can't call for help. You can't call a friend. But when you're stuck, life keeps on flowing. Life keeps on going by. Those things are still happening. And now it seems you're in a place of having to catch up. Seems like there's just not enough time. So you get back off the shore, you get back in the river, and you're flowing, but you're a little bit behind. So you have to paddle like crazy. You got to move those boxes. Just to catch up to where you were before. You lost all that time getting stuck. While you're paddling to catch up, these opportunities and life experiences, well, they're just flying by because you have no time to look. You got to catch up. You have no time to see what's going on, all the beautiful things on the shore or in the river that you're going to miss. You don't have time to live in the flow. There's just not enough time. We think there is a limited amount of time. So we make decisions based on lack and worry and frustration and anger. I don't think we should ever make decisions when we're in those states of mind. And the truth about time is that it's very, very abundant. You see, every single day, after that day's gone, you're going to get 24 more hours. Free. It just happens. You're going to get another 24 after that. Whether you've wasted your time or spent your time very well, you get 24 more automatically. Time's very abundant. So I was thinking for my talk today, it would be fun to use this book. I didn't make up that title all by myself. It was I'd Change My Life If I Had More Time by Dr. Doreen Virtue. I wanted to read you a little bit from her book before I go on with my thoughts. She said, like many people, I had to reconcile my personal ambitions with my life, with my family concerns. I first faced worries such as, is it selfish to take time away from my family to fulfill my dreams? If I follow my heart, can I pay the bills? How can I tell my friends that I need to spend my free time working on my goals instead of talking to them? As a lifelong student of religion, philosophy, and metaphysics, I also had spiritual concerns. What if my will differs from God's will? Is it spiritually correct for me to create goals? Or should I wait for signs of divine direction? Am I spiritually shallow to want material comforts? My goals were never to become rich. I wanted financial security, a nice home, and a safe car. I realized that my material needs were secondary to my need to fulfill my spiritual function by being loving and kind. Still, I wanted some reassurance that if I lived a spiritual life, I wouldn't lose sight of down-to-earth concerns such as paying the electricity bill. Couldn't I be a grounded spiritual seeker? The answer I found is yes. In fact, spirituality is extremely practical. It's our natural inheritance of power and sure source of guidance that travels wherever we go. So I know from experience that living a spiritual life does not mean having to endure austere poverty. On the other hand, worry and obsessions about financial security block one's spiritual progress. It's so important to learn to trust our inner wisdom and to know that it always leads us to happy rewards. Many people want to simplify their lives, but they worry about how they'll pay the bills while relaxing into their simpler lives. Fortunately, our heart's yearnings direct us toward a meaningful life with a meaningful income. We just need to trust and follow the inner voice. Trust and follow your inner voice. So what about that? Trusting. But what about what comes up, our reasons and our excuses not to? I'd exercise, but my kids and my job take up all my time. I'd get started on whatever it is you're waiting to get started on, maybe when I finish school. I'll get started maybe when the kids are out of school. I meditate, but I'll wait until after company leaves, after the holidays, after the vacation, after I feel better, or maybe after I retire. I was talking to John Chapman not too long ago, and he had said to me, have you noticed yet, since I was recently retired, that you don't know how you could possibly have worked all those years and got anything done? And yes, it's true. It's like I'm retired and I'm so busy. It's like, how did I possibly work at 9 hours, 10 hours a day and still get all of this done? There just isn't enough time. So how about you, and how about this spiritual path you're on? And the question is, when are you going to really get to it? When are you going to dig deep and begin your spiritual journey? Are you going to wait until after you are happy, then you'll begin? Is that a good time to start? I think a better time would be, how about now? Like Michael saying, how about now? Under the book I was reading, and I found in there some statistics, and she said, do you know that 40% of all people perpetually feel rushed? That 70% of people feel stressed due to issues on a weekly basis. It's not once in a while, it's weekly. 50% of all Americans surveyed wanted more self-time. 80% wanted more time with their children. There's this yearning, there's this desire, there's this wish that people are shifting their priorities. It appears to be so obvious nowadays that this is true. These are not things necessarily that our grandparents thought of quite often, but which we are. Of course, there still needs to be things like the bills paid and health care and mortgages to take care of. But I think sometimes we're burning ourselves out, trying to keep up, paddling like crazy because there's not enough time, trying to be somewhere else, trying to catch up. We all dream of a more fulfilling life, yes. And the problem often is we don't have enough time to change careers, to go back to school, to take time off, time to do something different. There's just not enough time. Now I want to do a little survey. This was something also I took out of the book. 10 quick questions. And I'm going to ask you to participate, and I'm going to ask if any of these ring true a little bit for you. Raise your hand. I often feel stressed when I don't have enough time. Anyone? Most of them. When I need more time, I cut back on sleep. You get up earlier or you stay later. Do that. At the end of the day, I often feel like I haven't accomplished all that I wanted to. A few of you, yes. I don't spend enough time with family and friends. I often feel the need to accomplish more. I feel trapped in my own routine. I'm trapped. Yeah. I don't have time for fun. I am a workaholic. Any workaholics in here? Yeah. Gotta work. Claire says to me sometimes, stop! I can't do it. I gotta get this done. I'm just wasted. I can't stop. When I work long hours, I feel guilty about not being home. Sometimes I don't know who I am anymore. Okay, so here's the thing. If you answered or raised your hand to 3 of these, you may have time issues. So I think there's a few you didn't raise your hands on, but for the most part, we may all have time issues. And we suffer from what Ms. Virtue called the time crunch. The funny thing is that she says when we are not suffering any of those things, that your business skills, your office skills, your social skills, your life skills, all run smoother. You get more done. You get things done more quickly. Less stress equals more time. So what can be done about the time crunch in this abundant universe? First, she said, you have to reestablish your life's priorities. Reshuffle them if necessary. Now, if you raised your hand quite often, maybe you're focusing in or on the wrong priority. For you, things change. Priority you had some years ago may not be the same as it is now. See, there's some major categories would be family, your spiritual life, your health, finances, and career. So what's important? Which is your priority? And not that any one is right or wrong. Which is your priority? What is most important to you? And it's key to know what your priorities in life are. And if you're a couple, if you're two people making these decisions together, that you agree on them and that you have the same priorities so that there's not a conflict and a struggle. We've talked about the law of attraction and some other things, and how you create in your life experiences. You attract into your life what you desire. So if this stuff, if this metaphysics, if this science of mind works, make conscious choices and make a difference. If your career is number one, great. Focus on that and attract what supports the perfect career. If family is most important, but you're focusing on career, not abandoning or not having a career, but that's your priority, yet family is your priority, that conflict, that struggle is going to eat up time. You're going to be unfocused. You're going to be in stress, in struggle, and wasting time. Now, something to know about reshuffling, because if you change and you want to reorganize life's priorities, as an example, it is just like maybe moving or reorganizing your closet. For a while, it might be messy. You might have to take everything out of your closet, examine what you got, and it's all over the floor and all over the bed, and it's a mess. And you think, well, I didn't want this. I wanted to reorganize it to be better. In your life, or if you're doing a closet, it's kind of the same thing. It might be a mess. We're living in a mess right now. We're in a little bit of overwhelm. We can't find things. Little things. It's like, we're going to have lunch today, and I can't find a can opener to open the tuna. It's like, that's hard. How much time did I waste? No, we went out. But when you're completed with reorganizing the closet, when you're completed reprioritizing and having an agreement so that things are flowing better, it feels better. What I'm talking about today is not a magical formula to fix your life. I'm not going to give you the steps to do this in 10 easy ways and you write it down and go fix your life. I'm sorry. But I am going to give you some of these key points to talk about. And it's not going to be about religion or about God fixing it for you. What I'm talking about and what Ernest Holmes talked about was a new way of living. A way of living consciously. Here at Satya we talk a lot about understanding yourself and life and how it works. I know it appears that time is in short supply. That is because we divide up our days into little tiny bits and disperse our attention in many different directions, and we don't even notice time flying by. And by not living in the now, we remove ourselves from experiencing much of what's going on, much of your life. You don't even know what's going on. It's like daydreaming in school or while you're driving. All of a sudden, you're somewhere and you don't know how you got there. I'm sure we've all done it. Either in school, and the teacher's like, so, Claire, what's the answer? Like, huh? I've done it driving too. I'm driving and everything's good. It's great. I'm going down the road and all of a sudden, Tapple Canyon. I remember doing this one coming home from work. It's like, I was supposed to get off 2 miles ago. We think time is at fault. And we stress and we deplete our energy and we further shrink our productive time. And then we move to a lack mentality towards time, which is a self-fulfilling prophecy, And we waste time thinking about how we don't have enough time. The key may be to live in the now. Do small productive things and move towards your goal. One box at a time. We do a lot of goal setting here. We do a lot of visioning. And it's a great way to keep you centered and focused. It also helps you to know really what you want. I wanted to give an example of taking small steps to achieve a larger goal. And this was something that Claire and I did not too long ago. I think I asked if it's okay I could share this. Yes.
You can share whatever you want.
Anything I want. And we were out in the yard gardening, and we were working, and I have had this lifelong way of doing things, and it's kind of slow and methodical. But I would work in the yard like every day for half an hour and stop. Go out, weed, get my half bucket of weeds or whatever it was I was doing, and stop. Claire had another idea. It's like, well, we should stay out here and work till this is done. Work it, work it, work it. It's hot outside. My back's a little sore. I didn't want to do that. But what happens is if you just go and don't take the time to have fun, don't take the time to look at your priorities and to do your other things, you end up working all day long. You end up with a sore back or a headache or whatever it is. Didn't drink enough and you're not hydrated. So the next day, or the next 2 days, or the next week, you really get nothing done. And then next Saturday, those weeds are back. Your life problems and issues come back. And you haven't done anything for the last week. Now you gotta catch up. And this is just my idea. It doesn't mean this is the way you need to do it, but it's simplify. Enjoy life. Do the little things. And that's just like your life and your spiritual journey. You have a goal, you have some priorities. But you are so focused, you get burned out, and then you stop and you give up. You miss that week or 2 weeks and you say, well, okay, heck with it now. I'm too far back, I can't ever catch up. And the reality, the harsh reality of it, it's not time's fault. It's not that you ran out of time. If you change nothing else but your attitude and do one small step every day, you can create more time and achieve your desires, your dreams, your goals. One step, one day at a time. This is another example, and this is wonderful, and I have the math to back it up. Now, this is not an exact analogy, but it'll give you an idea, an example of how small things multiply and make big changes. Very small things. So there was a caddy at a golf course, and the caddy said to the golfer, I will caddy for you today. I will carry your clubs today for a penny. But each time I do it for you, we're just going to double it. So I'll come back next week and I'll caddy for you for 2 cents. I'll come back the next week and I'll caddy for you for 4 cents. Well, the guy playing golf said, this is great. I used to give the guy, $20 to caddy for me. So 4 cents, that sounds like a great deal. So here's how it works. After 10 days of caddying for this guy, the guy's paying him $5 to caddy. He said, still, after 10 days, this is still a good deal. I got the numbers. 10 days after that, after the $5, 10 more times after that, he's paying him $5,242.
Oh, man, I want to be that caddy.
You can get ahead and make that deal. 5 days after he pays you $5,000, 5 more caddy days. On that 5th day, he's paying you $167,000. I always found that like quite amazing how a tiny change can multiply to something like that. The truth is, creating more time is not about working harder and faster, but in relaxing and simplifying. 3 things rob us of our time: fear, disorganization, and not using our spiritual power. We don't find extra time, we create from what already exists. You take small steps. You want to write a book? It's a big undertaking. Yes, no, I don't know. But if you do a page a day, it gets done. If you're overwhelmed with writing a book and you don't even start, it never gets done. Same with your life, same with your journey, your spiritual journey. Set your priorities. Pick a short-term and a long-term goal and move in that direction. You don't have to give up TV. It's a good way to relax. You just get a little more selective. In Dr. Virtual's book, and I can see I'm not really out of time, sorry. But what she said was, she did another survey and asked what a typical weekend was like for most people. This was a typical weekend. Well, I do laundry, do some house cleaning, mow the lawn, did some home repairs, paid some bills, did some grocery shopping, ran a few errands, maybe went into work for just a little bit to catch up on some work. And her big question was, where was the fun? Where was the stress relief? Which one of those was a step towards your goal, towards your dream, towards your life desires? Which one of those made a difference in your life? Which one of those supported your priorities? Lukewarm decisions make lukewarm results. So if you're going to move in that direction, move in that direction. Make a choice. Change your thinking and change your life. Ernest Holmes said, time is not a thing itself. It is simply a measure of experience. It is what you make of it. And so it is. Let's close in prayer. Just settle in and relax at the moment, knowing that there is enough time. That God, that source, that the universe is endless. It is huge. It is all that there is. It is you, it is me, it is the entire universe. It is so abundant. And you have access to it. It flows through you, it creates through you. You are a co-creator in this universe. You are abundant in time. You are abundant with the power of the source that surrounds you. You are magnificent. You are creative. You are powerful. And all that you do is to express God in a loving and kind way, in time which goes on forever is yours. Just relax, have fun, enjoy yourself, know your priorities, set your goals, move towards your dreams, one step at a time, and do it with joy in your heart. Just feel that own that and release it to the universe to multiply abundantly for you. And with me say, and so it is. Thank you. Now I'm going to
Thank you for blessing us with your presence today and being a part of the Satya Center. You're invited to join Reverend Ali and Reverend Lyle each Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for your dose of connection, inspiration, and co-creation. The Satya Center is located at 795 24th Street, Ogden, Utah. For directions, a map, and our service times, please see our website, thesatyacenter.org. This program was brought to you by the kind donations from the members of the Satya Center. Thank you.